Hey, welcome back. Today I'm doing a video where I adapt a page of Louie Bellson's book about 4/4 rhythms, and I try to apply it to piano playing to make a little comping exercise. For those who don't know, Louie Bellson was a jazz drummer from many years ago and a noted pedagogue, and he has two books that are quite well known, one in 4/4 time, one in odd time. A friend of mine recommended this to me, and immediately when I looked at the rhythms, it jumped out at me how great they'd be for practicing comping and for working out some harmonies, some voicings and pathways through forms. Because far too often, we work on harmony separated from rhythm, but they're inextricably linked to one another. Harmony occurs at a certain time. There's a harmonic rhythm, and harmony and rhythm, of course, are the two things that dictate the form of a piece, right? So, for instance, the blues has a certain harmony, but it also has a large-scale rhythm in that it happens in 12 bars, right? And that harmony, of course, is bound to that rhythm. So this is an exercise about that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first 12 bars of the Louie Bellson book, and I'm going to voice out some comping chords that one could conceivably use over a blues, just stealing the rhythm from the Bellson book. So if you do like this video, I'll be making another one on my Patreon, and you can find the link in the description. And feel free to subscribe if you want to see that, if you want to see more exclusive content, and if you want to request any additional videos, or if you have any questions that you've been wanting to ask about piano playing or jazz theory or classical theory, classical repertoire technique, really anything goes, and I'll try my best to answer it. So let's begin by playing through this rhythm, and let's hope I don't mess it up. I really am going in dry because I wanted this to be a video wherein the viewers could see me work through this. So let's play this rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Excellent. So right away I can see that really being good for comping, especially once we start getting into the really syncopated stuff. I can see that being really, really useful. Here I might add some more passing chords to generate more movement in those quarter notes, but we'll see. So let's begin. Let's first just go ahead and copy over this rhythm. Now I'm probably going to stick with my trusty SATB. And for those who don't know, SATB is a system of voicing wherein the left hand takes the 3 and 7, and the right hand takes the 1 and 5, and then substitutions emanating therefrom. And SATB has two variations. It has the rooted variation, and it has the triad variation. I'm just going to be using the regular old rootless SATB, imagining that I'm playing with a bass player, so that this is the kind of exercise that might prepare me to play at a jazz jam, for instance, or in a combo, or in a university ensemble. So let's begin. So obviously I need my 3 and my 7 in the left hand. And that C is perfectly good up there. That would make this a 9. So we could do we certainly could just do this voicing, just a regular old B flat 9 chord. And then this would voice lead quite nicely to, again, guide tones. So we have our 3, we have our 7, and doesn't this voice lead nicely to an E flat 9? So B flat 9 to E flat 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. You know, we always have to be careful as compers. Often it's easy to do too much. So there's certainly nothing wrong with playing a simple bar like this. Just for fun, I'm going to spice it up a little bit. For instance, what if we were to make this chord and this chord? What if we were to make those some kind of passing chords or approach chords? So what can we use for a passing chord? Well, we can use some kind of 5, which would mean an F7 or a B7, which is a tritone sub 5. Or we could use some kind of diminished 7 chord, for instance. And there's some more options from there, but you know, there's some other options that I don't know if we could call them passing chords. Well, maybe, you know, I mean, we could use some kind of planing structure, right? For instance, an A7 moving to B flat 9. I mean, that would probably be a passing chord. Maybe I have to brush up on my theory a little bit. But let's do that. So maybe instead of let's do this. So let's just go from F sharp, B natural, A natural, D sharp. So this is going to be a kind of superimposed B7, right? With our 7, 3, 5, 1. And this voice leads really nicely to a B flat 9. Very nice. So I'm going to acknowledge that with a chord symbol, and then use my handy MuseScore skills to place it underneath the staff. And there we go. There is our B7 over top of the B flat that the bassist will be playing. So this sounds good already. I really like that. I like that better than the doubled. I like that better than the doubled notes. Now there's something I could do here that would make this even stronger, which is I could change the extensions to make this sound like more of a dominant quality chord. So I could move this down yet again and move this there to the F sharp and B, and that would turn this into not a B flat 9, but a B flat 7, flat 9, sharp 5. And then maybe we can move it over. So this might give us a slightly stronger pull to the E flat 9. Let's hear how that sounds. Yeah, much better. So this is the kind of thing that I could see myself comping under a horn player, for instance. Or even maybe starting a solo chorus, you know? Sorry. Right, for instance, I can see this idea maybe launching me off into something interesting and motivic. Let's continue on. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and copy the whole thing. I don't really know why these notes are copying this way. That's very strange. I did some jiggery pokery earlier that MuseScore must not have liked. So let's see. We have this E flat. And the rhythm is Okay, so let's see, what could we do there? I could take this opportunity to, I'm inspired by this weird malfunction. I could take this opportunity to do something slightly off kilter, right? I could take this opportunity to maybe leap up to an F sharp, and we could make this a superimposed E7. Yet again, a tritone sub 5, just like with the B7 on the B flat earlier. So let's copy this over and then move it down. So yeah, this is now getting quite exciting. And then maybe here I'll even change my clef just so that it suits this a little better, because again I need a 3, and that will resolve down to the next 3, and then we'll decide what to do with that after. I need a 3, and I need a 7. Oops. I need a 3 and I need a 7. So here's my 3 and 7 from the E7. And then here in the right hand, I have a B natural and an F sharp. So I guess this is actually an E9, technically. Now I'm not playing the root here, right? You might notice that. I'm not playing the root. So is it really an E9? Well, no, not technically. It's a rootless E9, but it's going to function pretty similarly to an E9. So it's probably what I'm going to be thinking, or what I would be thinking if I were to improvise this kind of movement. And then that resolves down to an E flat 9, and things are looking good. And let's just go ahead and repeat that. What's the harm? What's the harm in repeating something once in a while? Excellent. So let's see what we have so far. Fun. Sure. Yeah. What could I do there? Maybe I could do something interesting. So these 3s and 7s, I'm gonna resolve them, right? Because this is the system. And the other video I do for the Patreon, maybe I'll use a different voicing system. So this 3 and 7 is going to move up to the 3 and 7 of the next chord. And then maybe I'll use something slightly unusual. I'm going to use a 9, then perhaps a sharp 11. And then maybe I can resolve that sharp 11 to the 5. And that's feeling good. Let's switch this up a little bit. Let's expand these bars a little. So all of this sounds like, let's see if we can figure it out. And then maybe that would even be nice to repeat. And then I can really hear that going. I don't want to spoil anything, but I can really hear that going to the 9 of the F minor 7 coming up. Dee 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 dee. Dee dee dee. Dee, dee, dee. Let's do that. So this B flat 7 that's coming up here, it's really functioning as the 5 of the E flat 7. Let's acknowledge these chord symbols just so I am being, just for the sake of thoroughness. I might not write all this in a chart if I were to, sorry, B flat 9, sharp 11. There we go. That's correct, isn't it? And then that should also be a B flat 9, sharp 11. Okay, great. This is so much fun. It's like figuring out a puzzle or something. Okay, great. So we get to the F minor 7. This D and A flat is going to move to our next set of chords, which is going to be E flat and A flat. It's going to be the guide tone. D, 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 D. Let's make this a cheeky little F sharp. This is going to be an F minor 9. Let's make this a cheeky little C sharp, because I want to really drive home that this is not my tonic, but rather this is the 5. P flat 7, let's say sharp 9, sharp 5. And then it's kind of a rule in jazz. When we have a chord stab on the end of 4, it's actually going to be anticipating the chord of the next measure. So this will actually be some kind of E flat 7. I really like the idea of just shifting these chords down chromatically to an E flat 13. D, D, Yeah, this is really nice. Switch that. We need to add our guide tones. Okay, excellent. Now here we have a really interesting rhythm coming up. It's probably the really most interesting rhythm we have so far. Okay, let's see if I can read this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oops, sorry. Let me try that again. 4, 1. Yeah, so far so good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, very nice. I'm pleased with this so far. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and hate it. We'll see. Okay, so here we have this kind of, this nice... Yeah, very nice. Okay, I'm excited to work through this. I think here I might want to add some diminished chords. So let's see. And yeah, I just want to point out again. So for instance, you know, when I had here the opportunity to play this doubled note, right? That's a great example of how rhythm has dictated my harmony choice, right? Because I didn't like this pitch being doubled. I wanted to add more movement to the rhythm, right? Or rather, I wanted to emphasize the rhythm better, more smoothly, right? So this is why this exercise, I've been really enjoying it. It's just, I think separating harmony from rhythm too much can be a bit of a mistake. Although, of course, we do want to learn, you know, harmonic systems and voicing systems. But, you know, ultimately, rhythm is king in jazz music. So let's move on to this E flat 7. Now we have some opportunities to do something creative here. We could even have, so this is going to be an E diminished 7. What could we do here on an E flat 7 with all these interesting pushes? We could have some kind of, you know, circle of fifths progression. For instance, we could have a B7, E7 resolving to our E flat. We could even go one around. We could have an F sharp 7 to a B7 to an E7, resolving to our E flat, which would then move nicely to the E diminished 7. I wonder if we could do that. Would that be really disgusting? Let's try that. Let's just see if it works. What's the harm? Ding, ding, ding. I've never liked this E flat set, this E diminished 7. I've never been totally sure how to accommodate that, you know? It is just kind of a B flat diminished 7, you know, just a common tone diminished. So let's see. I have this E flat 13. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give this a try. So I'd have to first find my guide tones. Let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna have an E natural. I might actually switch back to bass clef. I'm gonna have an E natural and a B flat, which will then move us to a D sharp and an A, which will then move us to a G sharp and a D, which will then move us to our arrival chord, the E flat 7, with a G natural and a D flat. So let's see here. Trying to decide on my top line. I do like that I can use this to kind of climb back down into the tenor register. This will just be the same. Dun, 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 dun. And actually, I already have a feeling what I'm going to do there, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so what should I do here for... I kind of want to do something a little bit nasty. Maybe like a 13 and a sharp 9, for instance. Like an F sharp 7 with a 13 and a sharp 9. Sounds good to me. Yeah, let's do that. Let's continue that on, in fact. So we're going to have a D for a 13 on the F7 and an A flat. And we're going to have a C. Sorry. Going to have a C sharp. Forgot we were working with natural 13s here. We're going to have a C sharp and a sharp 9, right. That's where my brain is getting mixed up. It's kind of late. And then there's our sharp 9 there. And that'll move down to yet another tritone there. And here we're going to want an 8th rest. And then what I decided to do here was to take this rhythm, take this rhythm and add just a little passing diminished chord, a semitone below. So it would be not an E diminished, but an E flat diminished, moving back to our E diminished. D, D. So that'll be an A. D, 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 D. This will be an E flat, back to an E natural eventually. This will be a C natural, back to a D flat, back to an E natural. So let's write down our implied chords here. F sharp, 7. So one thing worth noting, you know, again, not technically an F sharp 7, and all of these are going to be 13, F sharp 13, sharp 5. And I put some brackets around it. This is going to be quite a bulky measure. Again, we're just moving through the circle of fifths. B13, sharp 5. Let's put that sharp 5 in brackets, even though it's annoying to have double brackets. Maybe I could do this to signify an implied chord. Oh, it doesn't like that. Oh, really? Okay, that's annoying. I don't want to be mean to MuseScore. MuseScore gets a lot done for me. E13, sharp 5. And then finally, our E flat 7, sharp 5. E flat 13, sharp 5. So notice that even though it's the 4 chord, I continued with this really tense and dissonant dominant sound, right? And that's totally okay, right? Part of it is I wanted to have these, wanted to have these tritones moving down. That was a big part of it for me. Again, this is on the end of 4. It's going to have to be a G7. We're going to have to push this. I mean, we don't have to. You know, we're not going to get arrested. But I would like to. Because I think it sounds more hip than if we didn't. So let's see. We're going to have to voice lead from here. And I'm going to follow my rule. 3s and 7s in the left hand. I'm going to follow my rule. And then this will be actually not an A flat, but an F. B natural. Excellent, because again, this is our G7. Oops. Let's delete this and put it where it belongs. Over the and of 4. Because Louie has asked us to anticipate that. Thanks again to Louie Bellson for letting me milk this rhythm. It's really an excellent rhythm. I would recommend buying the book. Okay, let's see. Where were we? Sorry. I do maybe like the idea of just resolving this to a very straight ahead B flat 7 with no extensions. Just a 1 and the 5 in the right hand, and then maybe doing something a little, you know, maybe like a sharp 5 or something. Yeah, let's do this. Let's try this. So we have this really interesting moving inner line. And then we can can maybe even keep this sharp 5 and hit a 9. So it would become B flat 9, so B flat 7, sharp 5. Then this will become B flat 9, sharp 5. And then we could probably do something interesting here, moving to this G7. For instance, let's see, what could we do? Ooh. 3, 4, and 1. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there's part of me that wants to break my 2 notes in the right hand rule, but I will not. I will not. I also think the chord is maybe sounding a little bit bulky. Anyways, so let's avoid that. But I will make this a sharp 11, and we'll see where we can move from there. Maybe an A flat would be nice. I don't really like how uneven this spacing is, though. So maybe instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to leap up, invert the guide tones. And here what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to copy paste this rhythm in both the hands, move it down, and then here what I'll do is I'll shift both of these up by a semitone. Ding. Just because I want this nice little planing texture. Ding, ding, ding. Right? So this is kind of one of those instances where I'm on a dominant chord, but I'm also maybe a little bit thinking of this as like a planing thing. Even though it's technically also a tritone sub, I'm thinking of this a little bit like it's kind of a planing texture, right? Because it's going to end up being an A flat, sharp 11, flat 9, which I have to mark, by the way. Sharp 11, flat 9, A flat, sharp 11, flat 9. The double brackets there. Looks quite bulky, but what can I do? You know, I would never put this in a real score. It's purely for analysis purposes. Gonna go ahead and just repeat this. What is the harm? Always good to repeat something. It never hurt anybody. Yet again, this will need to be the upcoming chord, which in this case is a C minor 7. So this will need to be anticipated. So let's see how this voice leads to a C minor 7. Well, to me, there's quite a clear voice leading that the A flat should move down to a G, the 5 of a C minor 7, and that the C sharp should move up to a D. This seems quite logical to me, and my ears are telling me that that's what I want to do. Now what will I do here? So I could, of course, just one. Let's see, what could I do here? Maybe I could do something kind of interesting in the right hand. Like maybe I could move, maybe I could keep the guide tones the same throughout, like not change the left hand. Just have them very quietly bouncing on this rhythm beneath the right hand. And then maybe I could do something interesting here. Maybe I could do something interesting in the right hand where I have this like moving fifth. So I have a 9-5 moving down to a root 11. Will that be interesting? Oh, you know what I like even better? I like anticipating this F7 by a beat and hitting this striking set of extensions, which is a sharp 9. Is that right? Flat 9. Flat 9, sharp 5. I like that perhaps even better. Okay, so let's see how our last two bars are sounding. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Pretty good. I'd like to hear it in more context. 1, 2, 1. Yeah, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Starting to enjoy this. I wonder if I should have made it a little simpler. It's maybe feeling a little cluttered at this point, but it is a first draft. And of course, you know, these kinds of exercises, I think it's more about quantity, just doing a lot, you know, trying a lot of different rhythms, trying some different chord progressions over this same rhythm, or even just, you know, starting on a different voicing or like in a different register and doing the blues again, or in a different key, you know, things like this. Anyways, 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding. I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. I was just thinking about the interesting things I could do there. For this beat, I was thinking it might be fun to kind of collapse this in on itself. Turn this flat 9, sharp 5 into a natural 9, natural 5. And then perhaps do the same thing again, if we feel inclined. So let's see. And this is on the and of 4, so it's actually not going to be an F7, it's going to be a B flat 7. Here we are. This is going to be quite cluttered with all these chord symbols. This will be natural. This will be sharp. And then this gives us some kind of interesting possibilities that I really wanted to think about. So this also, the same rule applies. This will have to be a G7. Or maybe an approach chord to the G7. Let's see how we're feeling. Maybe we're feeling, you know, adventurous. Yeah, I'm aware of how nerdy this is. Let's continue on. What would sound good here with this B flat 7 anticipating? B flat 7. What would sound good here coming from this? This is really the, you know. 1, 2, 4. So I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this like tritone movement in the right hand tonight. So I'm gonna keep going with that. This is gonna be the same. This will actually be a G. Is that rule? And then I think what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to move this up. How do I want to do this? I'll call it a G flat. Move this up to a G flat. And here we go. And this is our bar. So here's a B flat 9, sharp 5. I'm using this texture yet again. And here's a B flat 7, flat 9. And it's going to take us to this, because I want to continue this tritone in the right hand thing. So it's going to take us to a G13, sharp 9. So it's funny, this tritone in the right hand texture is not a texture that I often use. So I'm kind of glad that this exercise is taking me in a new direction. I'm hearing some new things that I don't usually move out. And now I'm going to break away from this tritone thing. I'm going to do something a little more straight ahead. I actually don't need that natural because it carries over. Ding, ding, ding. And now this will voice lead quite naturally to a particular C minor 7 voicing. And this will be a B flat. How handy that we get to resolve our work without adding an extra bar. Where was I? So this is kind of an A flat 7-ish, right? Rootless again, but it's an A flat 7. I mean, well, I guess this would be even better described as a D7 or a D9. I guess that would save us some ink, so to speak. This will take us back to G7, flat 9, sharp 5. And then finally, let's do some formatting. And then finally, we get to our last measure. There's a very clear voice leading here, which is that this F moves down to the 3, and this B moves down to the B flat. I'm going to put an accidental there just as a courtesy. This moves down to the A, and this will move down to the A flat. So this is completing our guide tone line in the left hand. Now this A flat wants to quite strongly resolve to the 5 of its tonic chord, the 5 and the 9, which will give us a C minor 9. Let's go ahead and turn this into a 5 chord of the F, just because we can. Ding, doo, doo. And then we could make this a very straight ahead F13. Move only a single note. What is better than smooth voice leading like that? I actually like a bit of movement in that voice, so I'm going to change that to an F sharp, or I guess maybe a G flat would look better, because it is a flat 9. So that's going to become an F13 flat 9. This is going to be a C7. I'm going to bracket this because it has the same kind of passing tone, you know, passing tone feeling, even though actually it's very likely the bassist would still be playing a C root. So this wouldn't sound like an implied chord, maybe, depending. And then this very strongly wants to resolve down to the 5, and this D very strongly wants to resolve down to this C. And that completes our adaptation of this Bellson rhythm. So let's see if I can read this, but I don't know how I'm going to scroll through it, so I may just have to read it a bar at a time. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. There, I lost it again. So this scrolling is going to be difficult, but I should... Sorry. 1, 2... I wish this scrolling was a little easier, but I think the picture is perhaps achieved. Let's just take this 2 bars at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So yeah, what I was thinking here, passing tones, using this rest as an opportunity to leap up, get another passing chord, all implied 5s, and you know, planing diminished chords. Oh, and one that I forgot to write was this E flat diminished 7 that is implied over here. Yeah, that's the name of the game here. Very good. Let's take it from there. Great, so here we're doing this kind of walk down, right? So this would all be... This would all be over those roots. This would add a lot of movement. So this is quite a busy... comping chorus, right? I mean, this is almost a chord solo. You know, I think around here I was saying maybe I went a little overboard in terms of the complexity, but you know, if you do this exercise on your own, I certainly encourage you to scale back. Would I comp this under someone? I don't know. I don't know. I think it would really depend on the player. If I was at a jazz jam and, you know, there was some 17-year-old trumpet player, I don't know, playing Blue Monk out of the real book, it's very unlikely that I would play this kind of comping chorus. I don't know, unless he said something mean to me about my mother or something. But this would be quite mean to, you know, to pull out on a young musician or something, and it would be a lot to pull out on a professional. I mean, they'd really have to navigate through what you're doing, right? Because this is, I mean, it's pretty busy, right? But anyways, let's take it from measure 5. 1. Oh, sorry. Good. Well, maybe it's not that bad if I play it really soft. that was giving me some trouble. Good. Happy with that. So that's pretty good. So yeah, this one's an interesting... I almost like bringing out the alto. Yeah. Okay, this is my least favorite bar. This is my least convincing bar, I think. But it's about quantity, not quality. It's about doing a lot of this kind of thing. So I'm not going to edit too much. What would I change here? I'm not sure. I might have to go back a little further because, I'm not allowed to change the rhythm. So I can't just take a rest, right? But yeah, I might have to go back a little further, see if there's a better way. I could voice lead to this C, because I think the thing that's a little awkward for me is this D in the top voice. Anyways. Shoot. And then here we have our final navigation through this 1-6-2-5, where we're going. Nice. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with this. But I wonder if I could read it this this tiny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, sorry. Wow, so this obviously would need some practice for me. Yeah, but I'm quite happy with this. Maybe I'll practice this over the next few days, because really I'm going in cold. And just doing this, I really just wanted the viewers to see, what it might look like for someone to work through an exercise like this. So maybe I'll practice this in the next few days and post an update video on how I might actually make an exercise like this playable. Or perhaps that might even be the second video that I post on my Patreon, going through this from a technical standpoint and talking about how I might learn how to play it. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. The PDF will be available in the description, and then if you enjoyed this video, I think this was kind of a long video. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe because it helps me grow my channel. Yeah, that feels so weird saying that. You certainly don't have to. You also can just watch the video, and if you get something out of it, don't feel obligated. Of course, you're always welcome to just watch. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try and get back to it. And in the meantime, buy that Louie Bellson book. It's a really nice book. And have a great night. See you.